Hello, students. All right, let's get started with the corrections now. Okay, revision for the second assessment here. And we have the first question given: express each fraction as a decimal. This is a fraction, right? You have a numerator and a denominator. So you have to convert this fraction into a decimal. Now, as you all know that when you need to convert a fraction which is having a 10 as a denominator, then you will have this 5 standing on the 10th place. Okay, do you have any whole number on the side? No, there's no such whole number. So what are we going to do here? We will just write 0.5. Since there's no whole number there, so we're going to write down a 0 there. 0 stands in the ones place. And where does the 5 stand? 5 stands on the 10th place. 10th is here. All right, moving on to the second question. 4 upon 100. Now, where do you think 4 is standing on? It is standing on 100th. Okay, so is there any whole number on the side? No, there's no such whole number. So we're going to just write down, instead, you're just going to write down a 0 and a decimal point comes over here. Where do you think the 4 stands? It will stand on the 100th place. So this is the 10th place and this is the 100th place. So 10th is empty since there's no 10th there. But since 4 is standing on 100th, so it will stand on the 100th place. This is your 10th. And this is your 100th. Okay, moving on to the third question here. The third question is, again, there's no whole number on the side. We're going to write down a 0 here, a decimal point. And where do you think the 3 will stand? It will stand on the 3rd place. Why? Because it's standing on the 1000th place. Okay, so 0, 0, and 3. Clear? All right, let's now move on to the second part of your paper. And we have a question over here which says, express each decimal as a fraction or a mixed number in its simplest form. What do we have to do? Always read the question very carefully. Express each decimal. It is already a decimal here. What do you have to do here? You will have to convert this decimal as a fraction. Okay, so what will I first do? I will convert this as a fraction. Then goes the simplest form. If it is a mixed fraction means having a whole number. Okay, so if you have a mixed fraction, how will you do it? And if you do not have a mixed fraction, how will you do it? Okay, that's very simple. 0.8 and it will first be converted into a fraction. 8 upon 10. Why? Because 8 stands on the 10th place. Now we're going to bring this into the simplest form. Simplest form means you are going to reduce it to the lowest terms. Okay, think of 8 and 10 and also think of the table where you will find 8 and 10. You know your tables very well. So I will go for 2 times table and I know that 8 is there in 2 times table and 10 is also there in 2 times table. Both these numbers are common in your 2 times table. 2 what's are 8? Cut it off. 2 4s are 8. 2 what's are 10? 2 5s are 10. So what do you get here? 4 upon 5 will be your answer. Let's move on to the second part. And the second part is, let's give me a while. Okay. 5.2. 5.2. There's a whole number here. Your ones is your whole number, right? So 5 whole, convert it into a fraction first. 2 upon What should I write below? 10. Why? Because 2 is standing on the 10th place. Think of these two figures. Do you think both these figures are common in 2 times table? Yes, they are. 2 ones are 2 and 2 5s are 10. They both come in 2 times table. Okay. So you just go to copy down the whole number. Okay. 5 whole. And now your answer will be 1 upon 5. Let's move on to the third question. Okay. The third question has a whole number again. We're going to write down the whole number on the side. 4 upon 10. Reduce it if you can. 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times 5 is 10. So the answer is going to be 2 whole 2 upon 5. Simple. Okay. Moving ahead with the fourth question. We have a whole number, and so we're going to write down the whole number here, and 6 upon 10 is your fraction. Okay, this is your mixed fraction. This 2 is a mixed fraction. This 2 is a mixed fraction, but this isn't. Okay, because all these numbers have whole numbers, but this does not have a whole number. So moving on to the question here. 4.6 is converted into 4 whole 6 upon 10. Cut it off. Think of the numbers that can be common. Think of the table, Think of the table that is having 6 and 10 there. Yes, of course. 2 times table has 6 and 10 as well. 2 3s are 6 and 2 5s are 10. The final answer will be 4 whole 3 upon 5. Okay. Now we have the third question. What is the value of the digit 6 in each of the following? Now you have to find out the place value basically. So we know that this is standing in the 10th place. All the numbers that are before the decimal point are your whole numbers. Okay. So the first place that you see here is ones, and the second place that you see is tens. So you can write in figures also 60 like this, or you can also write 6 tens. Let's move ahead. You have the 6 here, and 6 is standing on what place? It stands on the 10th place. So where do you think, what do you think you should write here as a 10th place? It is going to be 0.6, because basically we need to show our working. Where does the 6 stand? It is standing after the decimal point, indicating that it is in the 10th place. But if you're going to write down like this, 6 tenths will also be correct. Okay. Now moving ahead with the third part, the third question. What do you think this 6 is standing? 6 is standing on what place? The 100th place. So I'm just going to show 0.06. Basically we are all talking about 6 here. So over here 6 stands in 60, 10th and 100th. And if you can write this, would be better, 100th. Okay, understood that? Question number 4. Express each of the following as a decimal. Now children, this is very, very simple. We have done it in class as well. So you have 43 tenths here. 43 tenths. How many tenths makes one whole number? 10 tenths. If you add 0.1 10 times, you will get 1.0, and that 1.0 makes a whole number, right? So if it is 43 tenths, so What do you think the answer should be? 4.3. This 4 becomes your whole number. Okay? And in this case also, we have 99 tenths, so 9.9. Okay? 30 tenths, when 10 tenths are giving you one whole, so 30 tenths should be giving you 3.03 is a whole number. And 11 tenths, 1.1. Hope you have all answered the questions correctly as they were done in class. Okay, hopefully everybody has completed this question too. And if in case you have got them wrong, I hope you must have understood after listening to the video here. Okay, moving ahead to the fifth question. Round each decimal to the nearest whole number. Students, we are rounding off whole numbers. Okay, since we were taught in class, we have done it in class, but still I will again explain you that whenever you see, you have to convert basically this number. Okay, whether this 2 remains 2 or will it be 3. When you see a number which is more than 4, after a decimal point, when you see your tenth to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then this 2 becomes a 3 there. Why? Because when you have your tenth 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9 and so on, I mean 9 is the last figure, okay? And then you will change your whole number. It will increase one number ahead. Moving on to the next part. Again, you can see a point here. 9.9. Again, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you have your tenth to be these numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then the whole number changes and it goes up. One number ahead now. 10. Let's do this one. 14.5. 0.5, it means if it is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then the whole number will change. Right? But in this question over here, 4.113, you are only going to focus upon the tenth. What is your tenth? It is 1. Now I told you if it is below 5, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the number, whole number does not change. So it becomes, it remains the same. Okay? It will remain the same. Okay, moving ahead, you see 0.3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The whole number stays back the same. Okay, so it remains the same. You have got 2 here. Okay, same case here, 8.434. You will again see your 10th place. It's a 4. So 8 remains as 8. What have you noticed in this case? That the numbers that are standing on the 10th place, which are lesser than 5, will be having the same whole numbers. The whole numbers will remain the same. But the minute you see any figure having 5 or above 5 figures, the 10th place I'm talking about, then the whole numbers will move up to becomes 3, 9 has become 10, and 14 will change to 15. And see, I have not written this, sorry for that. It was 15, sorry. Okay, so this is going to be 15 because I did not focus on this 0.5. When it is a 0.5, this changes to 15. Okay. Now, let me explain you a small, just explain you a few things as to how we convert the whole number into a bigger number, or whether it remains the same. Just have a look at this exercise. Have a look at these numbers. Okay, I have written 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. Now I have colored all these 4 digits. These are all tenths. Where are these numbers standing after the decimal point? And the numbers that are standing after the decimal points, what do we call such numbers? They are your tenths. Okay, they are your tenths. And the numbers which are before the decimal point are your whole numbers. Okay, now you have the whole numbers here and you have the tenths here. Now I have colored this much of the part till 4. It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The numbers, the whole numbers remain the same. For example, I am going to add up a few numbers of my choice. It can be any number. It can be, okay, let me fix the numbers first. Okay, now see, when you see a figure 3.0, now this is actually a whole number which needs to be rounded off to the nearest whole number. So 3.0 of course is going to give us a 3, and again 5.1 will give us 5. 2.2, what will it give us? The same 2 comes here. 5.3, 5. 6.4 remains as 6. Till here we have got the numbers to be the same. The whole numbers have not changed at all. Okay, but the minute you see numbers that are starting from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, always focus on the 10th. When you're rounding off the whole number, always see the number ahead of it, ahead of you. Okay, 7.5 changes to 8. Why? Because I told you the minute you see 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8 and 0.9, the whole number will change. It moves up one number. 0.6 becomes 1. 1.7 becomes 2. 8.8 becomes 9. Now we have a double digit figure, 25.9. Of course, it will change to 26. So always remember that when you see numbers on the 10th place to be bigger than 4, whole numbers will be like this, and if they are before that, it will be the same. Okay, so now this was just to explain you the concept of how you fix the whole numbers. Okay, now a question on addition. First, we are going to fix the decimal point. I have made a line here so that my decimal points go in a straight line. Okay, so I have this. I'm going to make a line. Should look like a right angle. And so I'm going to make another one too. Yeah. Now let's fix the whole numbers on the side. First digit that you see here is 5.36. So I'm going to write down before the decimal point we have 5. So I'm going to write down 5 before decimal point. And what is standing in the 10th place? 3. And what is standing in the 100th place is 6. Then we have the next numbers. 2 is a whole number which is before the decimal point. So I'm going to write down 2. And in my 10th column, I have 4 given here. And in the 100th column, I have 9 given here. What is it, by the way? It is an addition sign. Okay, so I'm going to write down the addition sign there. So let me change the pen. Okay, let's add this up. 9, now starting from 100th. 9 plus 6 is giving me 15. So my 5 goes down. We all know our additions very well. And 1 goes up. Okay, carry the number up. 4 plus 3 is giving us 7. And 7 plus 1 is giving you 8. Let's now add up the whole numbers. 5 plus 2 is giving us 7. So the answer is 7.85. Now move on to the next question here. Put the decimal points. Another decimal point comes here, and the third one is here. Now let's make the line straight, because children, why am I drawing this line in the middle? So that I may not go wrong. Sometimes we don't put the decimal points in the correct order, and so we get the wrong answer. Okay, let's see the whole numbers. What is the whole number here? We have 5. What is standing in the 10th place? 3. I'm going to write down 3. And where does 8 stand? In the 100th place. So I'm going to write down 8 in the 100th place. Moving on to the next number, which is 4. Whole number. I will write down 4 here. And what is standing in the 10th place? We have 8 here. Do we have anything standing on the 100th place here? There is nothing here. So since we are doing addition, so I'm going to put an addition sign here. And I would love to just fill in this gap with a 0. Okay? Okay. 8 plus 0 is giving me 8. And 8 plus 3 will give me 11. So 1 stays back here and the other one jumps up. We will carry it up. 5 plus 6. 5 plus 1, 6. And 6 plus 4 is 10. Okay, my decimal point should have been here. Instead, I have made it here. So let's ignore this. Okay, so this is my answer for the 6th question, part B. So hope you have all got the same answer. Let's move ahead with the rest of the questions. We have a question on subtraction. What do we have to do first? I'll just draw a line. Okay, and I'll put my decimal points first. And here I'm going to write down my answer. Okay, so we have 0.15 here. And 0.13 here. What have you noticed here? That we have the 100th standing in the 100th place. 5 is standing in the 100th place. 3 is also standing in the 100th place. 10th we have 1 and 1. Okay, and we have to minus this. There's nothing in the whole number side. So let's minus it, 5 minus 3 gives us what? 2. 1 minus 1 is giving us a 0. 0 minus 0 is giving us a 0. And so we're going to put a decimal point in the middle. Okay, now we come to the second question of our subtraction sum, and I would love to make a line first. this is something which is very important for all of you to know, that if you do not make that line there, you might get your answers wrong. Okay, so I have done it like this, and see, I'm just going to add up a decimal point in the end too. Okay, you have a whole number here, there's no point here. Where do you think your whole number should stand? Yeah, before the decimal point. So I'm going to write a 2 here. When there is no figure in front of this, what do you think you should write here? A 0. Good. So those who are answering me, I'm sure they're understanding also, huh? Very smart children. And we've done this many a times in class, children. I don't think you should be having any issues, but still, if I have made a video for you, if in case if you're lost somewhere, then you can catch up from here. Anyways, now let's continue. So 0 comes here, and 6 is standing in the 10th place. Okay, it stands in the 10th place. Now when you are subtracting a number, you have matched, just see the two numbers. Which figure do you think is bigger? 2, of course. Always remember to match your whole numbers first. So a whole number which is 2 and a whole number which is 0, of course 2 is bigger than that. So you're going to write down 2.0 here, 0.6 here. Now when you are going to write minus this, 0 minus 6 is not possible. So you are going to borrow a number from the neighbors, and so the neighbor will give tuck tuck tuck, knock the door, and the neighbor opens the door and it gives you a figure 1. Okay, take it, and we have 1 left here. Okay, so 10 minus 6 gives us 4, and 1 minus 0 is giving us 1. Of course, you have nothing to minus here, so 1.4 is your answer. Okay, there's a question on word problems. I'm sure you will all enjoy this word problem. This word problem is from your course book 4B, and this is page number 45, question number 7. Okay, Amos jogged a distance of 2.4 kilometers. Okay, and walked a distance of 1.65 kilometers. Jogging is different from walking, right? Jogging is running and walking is just walking. Okay, so the boy Amos, I guess it's the boy's name, right? So he jogged 2.4 kilometers and he walked 1.65 kilometers. What was the total distance that Amos covered? You can very well assess your answer because it says total. I'm going to just show you the idea. Always remember, when you're doing word problems, just underline those few words. They are a great help to assess whether it's an addition, sum, or a subtraction mark. Okay, so since it's a total of 2 figures, so we just have to do what you have to add up the 2 figures. Again, I'm going to draw a line here so that I may not go wrong anywhere. Okay, and here I go. Right, now how much did he jog? 2.4. What's the whole number? 2. And what is your standing on the 10th place? Is 4. Now we have the second figure, which is 1.65. Simply have to add this up. If there's nothing here, what should you write here? You're going to write down a 0 there. Just write a 0 there. Fill in that gap. 0 plus 5 is giving you what? It gives you 5. But if you add 6 plus 4, it gives you what, children? 10. So 10, we're going to write down a 0 here, and now 1 goes up. 2 plus 1, 3, and 3 plus 1 is 4. This is your answer. But do you think you should write the answer statement? Yes, it is a very important thing. Always remember, answer statement plays a very important role there. So what do you think the answer is? The total distance that was covered was 4.05 kilometers. So I'm going to write down the answer statement to help you out with how we write the answer statement. Total, if you want to make it short, you may write like this also. Total distance covered is 4.05 kilometers. Children, I would like to remind all of you that whenever we are writing down anything which is given in liters, kgs, these are all units. So units are very important to be written. I'm just going to highlight this unit. If you are writing down an answer statement and when you are given any unit there, kindly mention that unit there. Okay? Alright, moving ahead with the next question. Ryan drank 0.25 liters of water before playing football and 0.85 liters of water after playing football. He is a football player. I think majority of my boys love playing football, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so Ryan is the same type of a boy and he loves to play football, but before he plays football he drinks 0.5 liters of water, 0.25 liters of water. But when he's done with the play, then he drinks more water. Why? Because I feel that 8 is bigger than 2. So he drinks more water, 0.85 liters of water after playing football. Find the total amount of water that Ryan drank. Children, do you think this question wasn't very simple? Yes, it was very simple. Why? Because they have, I've made a question so easy. Total is the word which is helping you assess it. So let's write this question. Again, I'm going to make my decimal points here in a straight line. And so what happens here is 0 comes here, 0.25. By now you should be knowing where to put your numbers. The place value should be well written. If you do any mistake in writing tenths, hundredths, or your whole numbers and you put them in the incorrect place, then who is going to be in trouble? You. So simple, because it's an addition sum. I have written the bigger number down. That doesn't make any difference because we're just going to add it up. 5 plus 5 is giving us what, children? It is giving us 10. So I'm going to write down 10. Alright, and this was 1 goes up. 8 plus 2, 10 plus 1, 11. And then again you get this one up. 1 plus 0 is going to give us a 1. So what should be the answer statement? Find the total amount of water that Ryan drank. So I'm going to write down Ryan drank 1.10 liters of water. Simple. Okay, you miss the answer statement, then you will be in trouble. So it's better to always remember to write down the answer statement along with the unit. Liters. What's the unit here? Liters. This has to be written. Okay, now moving on to the last question, I believe. Yep, the last question. Okay, it's very simple. Bala spent, wait, let me fix this up. Bala spent $43.85. He gave the cashier a $50 note. How much change did Bala receive? First, you need to assess the dollars, or you may say you will first assess the whole numbers. Which whole number do you think is bigger? Do we have any decimal point in this case? When there is no decimal point, children, the number is a whole number. Always remember. So if you have 43 here, I'm going to highlight the whole numbers first. This is a whole number with a decimal point and a tenth and hundredth written here. But in this, we just have a simple whole number given. There is no decimal point. And when there is no decimal point, always remember that there is a decimal point ahead of the whole numbers. Okay, by now you should be familiar with whole numbers, your tenths place, your hundredths place, your thousandths place. Okay, so anyways, so what do you think? Which number is bigger, 43 or 50? 50 is bigger. So I'm going to write down 50 first. Okay, oh, I forgot to make the decimal point line there. So let me make one for you. Just give me 2 minutes. So we have a decimal point here, and a decimal point here, and a decimal point here. Okay? And let's do the subtraction sum here. We put the subtraction sign here first, okay? Okay, there's nothing written in front of the 50 there. Just leave it aside. Then we come to the second figure, the second whole number, which is 43. So I'm going to write down 43 below 50. And I have 8 standing in the 10th place, 5 standing in the 100th place. But what about the 2 digits here? What should I do? I'm going to fill in the gap. I told you earlier, when there's nothing written there, you're going to fill in those gaps with the zeros. Okay? So since it's a subtraction question, 0 minus 5, do you think it is possible to minus 5 from a 0? No. So this 0 will go to another 0's house and say, hi, knock, knock. And the 0 says, no, sorry, I don't have any number to give you. And then this 0 goes to the third house. Please give me some. I need a figure, a number 1 there. Says, no, I don't have any. So the last figure was quite generous. So he's going to give 5 will give a 1 to this number. Now this has become 10. All right. Now 10 has become generous enough, and it will give 1 to this next door neighbor. And when this 10 gives a number here, it becomes 9. This has become 4. Because actually 5 has given this number 1 to the neighbors. This has become 4. This has become 10. 10 has given 1 number here. It has become 9. Now 10, then this neighbor will give 1 number to this one. And this becomes 9 again. 10 minus 5 gives you what, children? 5. 9 minus 8, 1. 9 minus 3, 6. 4 minus 4 gives you nothing, just a 0 left. Okay? So, what do you think? How much change did Bala receive? Bala had a $50 note and he paid 43.85 and he gets back 6.15. Children, I've always seen you rushing towards the canteen area and you sometimes have 500 rupees. I'm just talking about rupees right now. And then you get the change back. So if you know your addition and subtraction well, then you will never be wrong. So Bala was smart enough and he calculated the money and he got $6.15 left. So how much change is he getting from the shopkeeper or from the cashier? He gets $6.15 back. So I'm going to write down my answer statement. Bala, or I can write here, Bala received $6. Sorry, I forgot to write dollar. $6.15. Hope you have all understood the work. Children, I'm ending up my video and I wish you best of luck for the coming test on Tuesday. And I would expect everybody to learn, revise the work and revision. More and more revision, more and more practice will give you the perfection. Okay, so now I'm ending up my video and goodbye for now.